And then there was one game left to determine the champion of the 2026 Chiefs Challenge here at Lions Ballpark in Simcoe on a superb weather day Sunday. And guess who's in the title game for a second straight weekend? It is the two rivals battling one another, Hill United and the Bear Creek Gremlins. They have met Blair 3 times already this season. Bear Creek winning 2 of the 3, but it was Hill United last Sunday in Mitchell with a 3-0 8-inning victory. And what a ball game it was in Mitchell.
Yeah, it came down to extra innings, scoreless through 7. Chiefs got a couple of guys on in the top of the 8th. Well, they started with a guy on, actually, because of the international tiebreaker runner. And a walk, and then an 0-2 pitch to Bradley Ezekiel. And boom, 3-0. Marco Diaz shuts the door in bottom. And Hill United, Canada East champions. These two teams, Peter, I've said this so many times, they are incapable of having a boring game against each other.
That is not wrong, with a capital W. Chiefs defensively, Hunter Luna for the injured Shane Boland at short, Tony Gonzalez at second with the injury to Lenny Viavazzo, red-hot Piplo Lopez at first, Luciano Biondi behind home plate, and getting the nod is Hill United's ace, Marco Diaz. And he will face the veteran, a tremendous player at this level for a long time, 38-year-old Matthew Waugh, who digs his way into the back of the batter's box, having a nice weekend. He has 6 hits so far at the Chiefs Challenge, and we are underway.
Blake Hunter is already in, 12, 15 feet from the bag at third. Has to respect that Matthew Waugh can still lay the bunt down, can still beat it out. Saw him do it against Townsend Tide yesterday morning.
And Diaz in and out for strikes on his first 2 pitches. Marco 5-2 on the year in 48 innings, has given up 11 runs. He struck out 87 batters and walked 10. 11 innings so far this weekend, including a 7-inning performance against JDT yesterday on a couple of hops. Tough play for Luna in time. Khalil Luna with a fine fielding play, and if you're just joining us, earlier today in Hill United's 7-2 semifinal triumph, it was defense that in many ways Blair won that game.
Khalil Luna is a more than adequate replacement for Shane Boland at shortstop. He's a guy that they went and got in the offseason specifically because they're looking 3 years, 5 years down the road, and he's going to be the anchor in the middle infield.
Jerome Remeke, the batter. And Remeke, 11 for 37 on the season, 4 doubles, 2 home runs, and 7 runs batted in. Both teams with perfect records here in Simcoe. The Gremlins, while Hill United on this diamond was knocking off JDT, beat the surprising Sandlot Merchants 5-1 in their semifinal affair. Remeke was 0 for 2 in that game.
Jerome hit one out of here on Friday night, Peter, into those evergreens beyond the perimeter fence.
Well, he is not shy on power, and he is off to a good start in 2026. And a changeup down and away from Diaz is a dandy.
Well, not shy on power, but not shy on average, Peter. The ISC World Tournament the last 15 years, this is the guy with the highest batting average.
And Diaz wins that battle this time with his first strikeout of this championship final, and there are 2 away.
That's the rise ball from Marco Diaz. Peter, a year ago, you and I would have said that was his 3rd best pitch, but it has really developed into a weapon here the last season and a half as he's gone to that pitch to become an out pitch for strikeouts.
And when he went a perfect 6-0 at last year's ISC World Tournament and gave up just 1 run in that entire event, Blair, there were so many key moments where the rise ball was the out pitch as he faces the veteran Ben Anoka and misses with that low rise outside. Anoka's 12 for 40 on the year, 3 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, and 10 runs batted in. And there's our pitching matchup. 2 of the best in the business, if not the 2 best in the business, as Jack Besgrove will get the ball once again.
And Peter, I think 1A, 1B in the game right now. These 2 guys. Carlos Parra is certainly closing down the stretch here with the 2 of them, but I think Marco and Jack still have separated themselves from the pack.
And there's the rise at 80 miles an hour. Diaz, velocity-wise, when he's at the top of his game, can reach 87 and 88, and that's from 46 feet away. And he goes to it again. Back-to-back strikeouts, a 1-2-3 top of the first for Hill United defensively will set their batting order, and the Gremlins defensively when we return in this championship final of the Chiefs Challenge on Softball Premier TV. After a 1-2-3 top of the first, a look at Jack Besgrove, the youngster from Australia who's won everything that the game has to offer already. And Hill United again without the leader and starting shortstop Shane Boland unavailable with an injury. A little bit, Blair, of a change from what we saw in their win over the JDT First Energy.
Yeah, Brad Ezekiel moves back up into the 2 spot. Quentin Bruce, 2-3. Bruno, designated player this afternoon in the championship game. And then defensively for the Gremlins, it's about what you would expect. Abierto Penuelas has become a regular for the Gremlins. He was just added to the roster late in the season a couple of years ago in 2024 in time for the ISC World Tournament. But what an addition he has turned out to be, injecting some speed into the Gremlins lineup.
Alan Pecker in the leadoff spot. He was 1 for 4 in the semifinal win over JDT earlier. 18 for 54 on the season with 6 home runs and 8 runs batted in. As Besgrove, the lean back, going the other way, and a base hit to start the game for Alan Pecker.
Boy, he really leaned into that pitch, but kept the hands back is the important part. Watch, we're going to cover him up with a graphic, but Pecker really does a great job to keep the hands back and then punch that the opposite way. That's great hitting from a guy that normally, Peter, and we talked about it, is a dead pull hitter.
Allen's 6th hit of the weekend. And Brad Ezekiel, who batted in the 3-hole, as opposed to his usual 2 spot, back in that position. And it was his 3-run home run in the extra inning that paved the way last weekend in Mitchell for Hill United to win that tournament. On the move is Alan Pecker. Nick Mullins' throw gets away, and of course, Alan Pecker never hesitates. He runs the bases as well as anybody in the sport, in my opinion.
Well, and we've been talking about this all weekend, not even waiting for more than 2 pitches. Jeff Ellsworth has got Alan Pecker on the move, pressuring defenses on the opposing team. And you saw it there, the throw from Mullen, short-hopped Evans, it gets away, and here's Pecker up to third base.
The 39-year-old from Harbor, Maine, Newfoundland. Bradley Ezekiel, 2 for 3 in the semifinal win earlier today. And you know that neither gentleman has forgotten their last meeting a week ago. And a terrific changeup from Besgrove. And in terms of the arsenal, Blair, Besgrove throwing as hard as he ever has to go along with the great movement, the spin. And while Diaz continues to work at the rise, to me it's the changeup for Besgrove.
Well, he's always had a very good one, and he continues to work on that. You saw it was down and away. He got Ezekiel to fish after it. But by my eye, and of course I don't have a scientific count here, Jack has thrown a lot more rise balls. Nobody
out, runner at third, and great work by Nick Mullins to keep that away from hitting the screen as Ezekiel draws a no-out walk. And Hill United threatening in the bottom half of the first. Quentin Bruce, 12 for 58 now on the year. 0 for 4 against JDT in the semifinal, but does have 4 hits here this weekend, including a home run, and his hits have mattered. He's driven in 7. He's in a position to do that here. Bounds it past Eric Ochoa. Bradley Ezekiel on his way to third, and Hill United strikes first in the title game.
Quentin Bruce not wasting any time. Peter goes right after it and gets it past the outstretched glove of Eric Ochoa. And still, runners on the corners, and still nobody out.
10th RBI of the season for Quentin Bruce, the left fielder. And Hill United out on top. It is 1-0. And still no one out with runners at the corners. Roney, the batter. And Bruno had a quality semifinal, 2 more hits, a double, and a couple of runs batted in the 7-2 triumph.
Another rise ball, Peter, and that one curving in on Matrone. So the lefty Besgrove with that natural tail up and into the righties. But it's been exclusively rise balls and changeups so far.
And boy, does it move. Can't always see from this vantage point. I'm pretty much directly behind our home plate umpire. I can move a little bit, but it doesn't really. I get blocked off one way if I move one way and the other. You're actually in a much better spot.
Well, it's tough. You've got blocked out on the right side. I'm blocked out on the left side. So
tie goes to the runner is what you're saying?
I think it does. I'd love to be over one table, but we don't have long enough cables.
No, we don't. I'd love to be up about 10 feet is where I'd like to be.
Oh, that would be helpful, too.
Two balls and a strike to Bruno Matrone.
Oh, that was way up and in and got him on the hand. That's the wrist, I think, Peter, that got hit hard with on the foul ball last weekend.
And he is in plenty of discomfort. As Craig Lyons, the outstanding athletic therapist of the Chiefs, will...
Yeah, I think it got him. It got him right on the left hand. And you see him shaking it off as he's going to make his way down to first. Immediately shaking that out.
So Matrone, a tough customer, looks like he's going to, at least for now, stay in the game.
Well, some action already down in the Bear Creek bullpen, Peter. Pablo Migliavaca.
Tony Gonzalez, the Chiefs leader in runs batted in. He's up to 20 on the year. Had an RBI and a single in the win over JDT today. Tony was 0 for 3 in the final last weekend in Mitchell. Mullins having trouble for just a second to find it, but recovers well to keep Ezekiel at third base.
Well, that was the drop from Bestgrove, Peter, and not close to the strike zone. He's thrown 2 of them, and neither of them have been close.
Jack recently completed and competed in Colombia at another U23 World Cup. Not the end result that he and Australia would have liked. They lost to Japan in the title game. He had won that crown in 2023.
That was a whale of an event and a terrific championship game. Japan got to Bestgrove early. He and Nick Need, I think, were the leaders in innings pitched. Need for Canada, Bestgrove, of course, for Australia. And with the heat and humidity in Colombia, I wonder if fatigue played a little bit of a factor for Bestgrove on that final day.
Well, here he's facing Tony Gonzalez. And he's as good a performer as the Chiefs have had. He fights this off, but Malherzuk with excellent range will track it. And the Chiefs almost got caught up on the base pass, but Quentin Bruce and Ezekiel able to scramble back after the play by Malherzuk.
Well, Bradley Ezekiel broke 3-4 steps off of third. Quentin Bruce saw that, and he was halfway to third before he realized that Brad was going to retreat back to the bag. Malherzuk made the grab over where the grass meets the stone dust. Certainly you're not going to be able to tag and score on that.
So the first out of the inning as the Chiefs have scored. And Blake Hunter facing Besgrove. He talked about his work in Colombia. He threw 42 in a third innings at that event.
And there were not a lot of easy innings. Obviously, as the ace for Australia, Bestgrove was used in all of the leverage situations.
Blake Hunter, an opportunity early for the Chiefs to extend a lead. And you do not want to let these type of opportunities get away because they can be rare in a pitching matchup between these two individuals in the title game.
No, we often say, Peter, if you're going to get to so-and-so, Bestgrove in this case, if you're going to get to them, get them early. And a big opportunity here for Hill United.
So Besgrove gets the sign on the watch, the PitchCom system, and the rise ball out of the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Blake Hunter, who's 14 of 33 on the year. 3 doubles, 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in. 3 of those RBI have come at the Chiefs Challenge this weekend. On the ground for Remicky, and it's good enough to score the second run. So Hunter fights it off, and it's 2-0.
He beat that right into the ground. We've seen a lot of high hops this weekend. This typical Ontario facility with the stone dust diamond. We had some rain earlier in the week here in southern Ontario, and it's just baked in here this weekend. It's hard out there.
Took something off to Pipolo Lopez, who's had a marvelous weekend for the Chiefs. 3 home runs, including another in the semifinal triumph earlier today. He's 4 for 11 here in Simcoe. And Mullins on the drop. Looked like he was set up on the other side of home plate. But a nice recovery by the veteran catcher.
Yeah, and right now, Bestgrove is struggling with that pitch, Peter, and if you can't locate the zone with it, it's something that the opposing team can rule out and then focus on one of the other 2 pitches.
Lopez fouls that away. Hitting is contagious as a group and especially individually. And Pipolo Lopez has been pretty locked in so far on the weekend. He's just a really quiet, go about his business. Doesn't have a lot to say. And that time, couldn't pull the trigger. So Hill United get to Jack Besgrove for a couple of runs on 2 hits. And they lead the title game of the Chiefs Challenge 2-0 after 1 here in Simcoe.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Great look at the facility, Lions Ballpark in Simcoe, the host site annually of the Chiefs Challenge into the title game. Hill United with a couple of runs in the bottom of the first lead. Eric Ochoa and company by a pair, but a long, long way to go in this game. Ochoa, 12 for 42 on the year with a double, 3 home runs, and 15 runs batted in. On the ground to Luna, and there's one away as he read the hop perfectly.
Kalu Luna right at home at shortstop. He played that for Argentina at the U23 World Cup. There you see a good look at that prize edition. Too much of a stretch to say that?
No, I don't think so at all. 10 for 19 in Columbia. Drove in more runs in that event than any other player. And can field his way around. He's played some second and third already for the Chiefs, along with being somewhat forced into the shortstop position. Cole Evans gets into it. Not quite enough. And Evans has been the crusher versus Hill United over the last couple of years. Already this year, drove in 3 runs last weekend in the round-robin win. Had a game-winning home run in their first meeting of the year at the Bear Creek Classic and hit that ball well.
Got it on the screws, but just not quite enough. Alan Pecker tracking that down. Might have been near the warning track if there was one.
250 around the diamond. In the air, Lopez calls off Gonzalez to get Nico Carril. And a 1-2-3 second inning for Marco Diaz and the Chiefs, who will come to bat when we return to the final of the Chiefs Challenge on the home of softball, Softball Premier TV.
Dreamcatcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Two nothing. Hill United in front, trying to capture this crown back-to-back years. And Khalil Luna, the shortstop, a newcomer. He made a couple of good plays. Just 22 years of age from Paraná in Argentina, where it seems like just about everyone in softball is from that area. There are some exceptions.
Well, I think if you're going to play the game, you ultimately make your way there as well. I wonder how late the Argentine players across the tournament were up last night with the Argentina soccer game on.
I'm guessing pretty late. Although they were already in a spot that wasn't going to change a whole lot.
Lionel Messi continuing to dominate.
Which you just reminded me of. That I forgot to tape Canada's game today. It's quite big.
That's a fairly big one.
Only the largest one in the history of our country, being Canada, as Luna punches it past John Hill.
We'll try to stay on track here with the softball, but yeah, I don't think you needed to remind anybody that we're Canadian.
Well, I'm not afraid to. Very proud of it.
100%.
I'm laughing because John Hill has been in coaches' boxes for so long. Doesn't even, flinch when it comes near him. These two would have faced off against one another at that U23 World Cup. Meant to take a look this week at what that scenario was. And Luna having a good at-bat here. It's 4 for 9 in the tournament. 3 runs batted in. Hit .526 at that U23 World Cup. 10 for 19, 6 home runs, 13 runs batted in. Talk about have yourself a tournament. And he is giving Jack Besgrove all he can handle and vice versa in this at-bat to begin inning number 2 for the Chiefs on offense. Next week, these great teams will be in Kitchener-Waterloo for the Hallman Tournament. 5 teams in the division that they'll participate in. Luna, long fly, but Biardo Panuelos tracks it down. That is what you call a quality AB.
Yeah, he got the most of it.
And the batter is Luciano Biondi, another youngster from Argentina. Just 23 years of age, 9 for 30 on the year. As he looks at the low rise in the inner half for a strike. And Luciano has had a nice tournament. He's 4 for 6 with a home run and 5 runs batted in. And thought about dropping one down. Great to see Dave Harrington back this weekend after the ball that he was hit with off the side of the knee last weekend in that semifinal between Hill United and JDT.
It was a rough weekend for umpires. Dave Harrington behind the plate. Trevor Topping, who took one off the hand, and I bet for one of the first time ever, or few times ever, Trevor Topping came out of a game, thought he had broken his finger, came back after x-rays, and it was not but badly swollen. I talked to him on Friday. He had on what looked like a UFC fighting glove to protect his hand.
I don't see it today.
Well, he's on the bases today, so probably
Yes.
a little less protection required. Daryl Helmer is out at third from Airdrie, Alberta, making the trip east for the Hill Chiefs Challenge. He would have liked the heat turned down just a little bit. He said, Alberta boys are melting. I said, well, so are the Newfies.
And Biondi stays alive on that swing.
Gerald Helmer, last year's recipient of the Leon Watson Memorial Umpires Award at the ISC World Tournament.
As Jack Besgrove has been forced to work early in this game. And works well. The rise ball upstairs, and it tails away from both left and right-handed batters. And you get another great look at it at 82 plus on the radar gun.
Well, 82 for the rise ball. That is some good velocity from Besgrove, because the rise ball is always going to be a little bit slower than the drop ball. But 82 again there on the rise.
Jack's second strikeout of the afternoon, facing Alan Pecker, who singled, stole a base, went to third on a ball that was spilled on the attempted stolen base, and then came in to score on the RBI courtesy of Quentin Bruce. As the Chiefs scored 2 in the bottom half of the first inning. Tries to drop down a bunt, but fouled it back to the screen. Allen was 1 for 4 in the championship final last weekend versus the Gremlins. Homered against them in the round-robin meeting, had 2 hits versus the Gremlins in that game. His hottest event last year was the USA Nationals. And has his second hit of the afternoon.
And he is not missing pitches right now, Alan Pecker.
It's his 7th hit of the Chiefs Challenge. And that one was scalded into right field. So 2 out and a man on for Brad Ezekiel, who walked and scored the second Chiefs run of the game.
Keep an eye on Pecker.
Now I wonder if the Gremlins would think about pitching out here. You don't see a lot of that. There he goes. And Malherzou couldn't have been in a better spot. Went to cover the bag and ended up right in his mitt. That's a pretty good piece of hitting by Ezekiel. It just wrong place, wrong time.
Any other time that one gets through?
It does. Worth 2, and it's 2-0 in the final of the Chiefs Challenge in Simcoe. Two nothing. Hill United in front in their own tournament, the Chiefs Challenge. Again, thanks to everyone involved. So much hard work goes into these events to make them a success. Nice crowd is formed here at Lions Ballpark. Blair, I'm always constantly thinking about how this game can grow and have larger audiences both at the park, online. It's just too good of a product not to be watched, seen by more.
I think in a very crowded digital universe, the game is starting to find a bit broader audience. We'll see what the numbers come in from this week. I can tell you last weekend it was around 50,000 views from Mitchell over the course of, what did we do? 11 games?
Would have been in that neighborhood, yes.
So
is that a good weekend? I don't have any real reference points.
It's good. I'm sure this one will be a little bit higher. It always seems to be. I think the question is it's a very crowded sporting landscape too. I mean, you mentioned it earlier. We're competing against a World Cup. Now that might not come on until this one is over, but if people are budgeting their time in front of a screen today, it might be for a World Cup matchup. I don't know. I don't have all of the answers.
Panuelos high in the air. Lopez is there. Gonzalez will call him off. And there's one out in the third.
But I will say, I think what we're doing with Softball Premier TV goes a long way to professionalizing the game and the way that it's presented. And when people do see it, they seem to like it, and they come back. So we're growing the audience, but it's incremental. It's not exponential. And I would love to find that X factor that would take it exponential.
A swing and a miss from Ladislav Malherzou. And the nice thing about this sport, too, is that it is played at the highest level by players from a lot of different countries, which again has room for growth. A bounder, and I mean a bounder. He talked about how hard this infield can be. Right now, just the way it looks, and it's partly the surface that's very popular in Ontario. Looks like it could rain here for a week and you'd still
be dry.
Still be dry. Even though there's been no shortage of rain and precipitation in this part of the world, certainly in the wintertime. Change up, and Malherzuk half laughing, and so's Marco Diaz, who never really seems to be fazed by a whole lot.
No, we used to talk about Sean Cleary, the Iceman out there. I think Marco Diaz might inherit that moniker. We were just talking about that in between innings, too. Completely unflappable.
Such a easy motion. Almost like he was born to do it. And he's just 24 years of age.
Well, he has the perfect frame for it. Long levers, the legs, the arms, all of that he can leverage coming off the board, whip the arm through.
Again to the changeup. And Malherzuk battling. That's a lot of fun. From 85 to 66.
That's quite the differential.
The drop ball that time, and again, poor Mr. Harrington takes that one, and he goes, I'm good.
Yeah, that got a bite out of everybody, I think. Dave probably got the worst of it, though.
Seemed like he took the worst of it from our vantage point. So good at bat for Malherzuk, the 31-year-old. And Biondi trying to frame it for strike three. And the count runs full on Malherzuk, who's 9 for 33 on the year, with a home run and 4 runs batted in. And about as good a changeup as Diaz has in his bag of tricks.
Yeah, that was something special. Malherzuk, who had already fouled a couple of them off, way out in front on this one.
Diaz was strikeout number 3 of the afternoon, facing the number 9 hitter in catcher Nick Mullins. Nick's 4 for 23. I love all the banter that goes on in this sport between batter, even catcher, and umpire.
Catcher, batter, umpires. Mullins, Matroni, and Biondi is learning this from Bruno Matroni, how to work with the umpires, whether he's at the plate or behind it. Nick Mullins in constant communication with the umpires.
And the players will go back and forth between the opposition.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a strike, not a strike? That's a strike. A swinging one. Marco Diaz has faced the minimum of 9 in his first 3 innings of work here in the championship final of the Chiefs Challenge in Simcoe.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
From the drone, I believe, a look at Lions Park, the home of the Chiefs Challenge on an annual basis. Quentin Bruce, Bruno Matroni, and Tony Gonzalez due up. And I guess Bruno's hand is okay.
Well, he was flexing it the entire time that he was on base, but those are stingers too, right? Like you get that and it's like you got a mitt full of bumblebees all of a sudden. And when that wears off, hopefully there's no lasting injury there and like a broken bone. Otherwise, it's just going to be sore for a couple of days.
Quentin singled off of Besgrove to open the scoring in the bottom of the first. His 8th run batted in, Blair, of the weekend. He has 10 on the year. 8 have come this weekend.
Yeah, Quentin Bruce got the bat going here for the Chiefs challenge.
4 of those runs batted in a 10-0 win in the quarterfinal game last evening. And Nick Mullins is an unhappy camper as he walked halfway to the pitching rubber. Thought the changeup was a strike.
Well, and there's that communication that we talked about. He's working Dave Harrington hard, and maybe that pays off in a call later in the game.
Well, they're always trying. A swing and a miss. A ball and 2 strikes to Quentin Bruce. Hit .385 in the shortened season for the Chiefs in 2025. And Besgrove dials one up to get Bruce to start the bottom of the third. And here's Bruno Matroni, who was hit by a pitch on the hand in inning number 1. And he had a mighty cut at the first pitch from Besgrove.
They wanted that pitch a little bit further inside. We'll see where Mullins, if he creeps left or right, just a little bit to the outside.
That rise took off, and it almost took off, just not the ball, but having to go up to get it off the face of Nick Mullins. Been a lot of bruises on those bodies, Matroni and Mullins. Both 40-year-old and have done it so well for so long.
Changeup just misses off the outside corner. Besgrove, a long look in, wanted that one, but where I'm sitting, and it's just directly behind the left side batter's box, that pitch off the plate.
Well, that's been the neat part about our innovations at Softball Premier TV is second looks at those types of pitches to see if maybe they are in the zone or touching the zone. And more often than not, if the batters really look back, they'd be somewhat surprised at times.
I think so.
Well, from what I've seen on the monitor, and Matroni stays alive, fouling that out of play.
Peter, you talked about the 2 veterans here, Matroni and Mullins. I'm envisioning a scene somewhere in the not-too-distant future. Well, hopefully it actually is the distant future, where the 2 of them are sitting at a bar exchanging stories.
Might need a translator.
Bruno's pretty good in English.
Certainly one of the better Chiefs in that department.
Yeah,
but it's still.
I think they could. I think they could figure it out between the 2 of them.
Well, depending on the amount of beverages, it might get easier.
I'd pay to be a fly on the wall in that conversation.
Well, you'd learn a lot. And I bet you there is a lot of mutual respect.
Oh, without a doubt.
How wouldn't there be? You're not paying much attention, and these guys are too smart not to pay attention. And Matroni able to win that battle as he's on base for a second time, this time by way of the walk.
Yeah, and he's not missing by much
No.
here either. That pitch just bending around the corner of the plate.
Trony having a friendly conversation with Eric Ochoa. 1 out for Tony Gonzalez. And Besgrove has certainly gone to the change-up on a regular account in this game. And Blair, the most fascinating thing in many ways for me is when you're going to play a team 8, 9, 10 times, like your ability to make, adjustments in game from one weekend to the next, depending on, how you're hitting, or especially for the pitchers. Like, it's really time to go to school during the week.
The amount of video that's available now for hitters and pitchers, for everybody to study, is incredible. Great curveball there as Besgrove zips that in across the plate to Gonzalez. But the ability now, Peter, to do the analytics that previously would have never been available. And I remember Jason Hill saying this a couple of years ago. I mean, it was a testament to how well Jack Besgrove had burst on the scene. But you have to buckle up, and you have to make those adjustments. And that's something that Carlos Parra is going to learn as he works his way through the tournament circuit as well.
Well, let's tell the true story about Jack Besgrove. Prior to last year, or maybe even all the way back to just the final of the ISC in Surrey.
I was going to point to that game, yeah.
We weren't sure if he was human.
I didn't know that he was ever going to lose a game.
Exactly.
Right?
Certainly a big one.
Yeah.
Because he really hadn't in his entire career. At that point, he'd already won a U23 World Cup, the men's world title in 2022. Just unbelievable success is Blake Hunter. This is a real tester, and Panuelos with a fine play.
Boy, he came a long way to get that ball. And sliding underneath it, watch how he's got the glove up here. He slides but keeps the glove up above him to make the grab. That's how you do it.
So a walk, 1 left, and it remains 2-0 Hill United in the final of their tournament here in Simcoe on the home of softball, Softball Premier TV.
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS, we aren't just selling products. We offer a commitment to building meaningful relationships with our customers, getting to know your business goals so we can provide the best possible solutions for your needs. Find us on the web at absolutebusinesssupply.ca and let us get it for you.
Inning number 4. Hill United scored 2 in the bottom of the first inning, and it stays that way. But a long way to go in this one between these two rivals as it tails away from Matthew Waugh. It's Matthew's first game against Hill United. He was not available last weekend, and he did play at the Bear Creek Classic. He did not play on the Friday night when they met.
Not sure if he was available that night either. I think he got there either later that night or early on Saturday in Bear Creek. Matthews had a couple of events in Quebec.
The 38-year-old from Saint-Gervais, Quebec. Giving back, Blair. He's teaching a lot of clinics now, helping youngsters enjoy the game, play it the right way. And you love to see that from someone like Matthew, who has been so valuable, whether it's at the club level, and has been fabulous for his country.
Well, he's always had things like instructional videos and stuff like that on his social media, and getting involved with Softball Quebec the last several years at the youth level. And really great to see a guy like Matthew, his stature, and what he brings to the development now.
So important. And you see it in so many different sports. When players want to continue to give back and help the game grow, it makes a significant difference. You know, you think about Justin Schofield running the U9 program in Grand Prairie, Nova Scotia, or, you know, what Ryan Boland and Jason Hill are doing back there. And so, you know, and there are a lot of players giving back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll point to another guy out west, Derek Mason, out recruiting baseball players to get into the game of fastball. And we've seen a few of them from Logan Newman to Gus Wilson, some others who are emerging in their own right after having played baseball their whole lives.
I am delighted to hear that, because I've wondered, you and I have actually talked about that over the last couple of years. You know, when some great Canadians who go down and play college and, you know, their careers come to an end in that sport, like what a wonderful opportunity this sport could give you for the next 15 years or longer.
Look at Nick Mullins, D1 baseball player, got into fast pitch. There's a video, at least there used to be, on the ISC website of Nick talking about his transition into the game and the opportunity to play at a high competitive level, including for your country, for a 20-year period.
Matthew Waugh pounding one. It actually went over the backstop. Blair.
It went over the backstop, and we had a fan try to throw it back over the backstop, which did not work.
So you know that the surface...
It's hard out there. It really is, without a doubt. I saw Bradley Ezekiel slide into second a little bit earlier when he didn't necessarily have to, and you and I both noticed that he immediately looked at the dugout saying, why am I sliding here?
I don't want to slide on this. Now, and the grounds crew has done a terrific job.
Oh, it's immaculately groomed every game. Simcoe Minor Ball Association here working with the Chiefs to bring this tournament to Simcoe. The first couple of years it ran in Oswego,
yes.
And one year was down in St. Catharines, but it's been here in Simcoe post-pandemic.
In fact, the first time I watched this tournament, it was in Oswego.
Yeah.
And I think in the one year they had like the Australian or New Zealand national junior team, if I remember correctly.
You probably do. I remember I did a couple of them from Oswego, and yeah, there is definitely one of the national teams there.
Matthew Waugh and Marco Diaz in quite a confrontation to start the fourth. This one lifted, and Ezekiel diving can't get to it. And Matthew Waugh has a leadoff double in the first hit of the game and the first base runner, in fact, for the Gremlins.
A bit of a seeing eye double here as Matthew just out of the reach of Brad Ezekiel. Gave it a run. And you see here, we just cut away from it. But Brad Ezekiel made it close, but just couldn't quite come up with it.
I believe Matthew, a 7-time All-World player at the ISC. And now Jerome Remeke, who looks at strike one at 86.
Marco Diaz has dialed it up. That's his high point here this weekend. He touched 84, 85 yesterday.
And fouls that back. Does the 31-year-old from Wellington, New Zealand.
First ISC season was up here as a 17-year-old, sleeping on a mattress at the Conestoga College dormitory, sharing a room or a unit with Ben Anoka and Nick Hayes.
tailing away and out of the zone. Always interesting in the development of Luciano Biondi to work in games like this and not Bruno Matroni behind the plate. And that has been the case the last couple of years, and for sure an objective of Hill United's coaching staff to grow his game.
Without a doubt, to groom the next guy up. Khalil Luna is in that spot in the middle infield. Pecker, Nick White is in that spot in the outfield. Quentin Bruce, brought over a couple years ago to be the next power hitter. And you can absolutely bet that this was planned, that succession from Bruno.
Gonzalez throwing across the body to get Remeke, but the ball on that side of the diamond moves Matthew Waugh to within 60 feet of home plate.
If you can get Remeke to tap out with a two-hopper ground ball, you've done something. There are very few guys, maybe Bradley Ezekiel, maybe Nick Shales, probably Nick Shales, who have exceeded Jerome Remeke over the last decade in this game. What he has done, somewhat unheralded, I would argue, although he's a 7-time All-World player, he is amongst the best in the game.
Been banged up the last couple of years, too.
He has, and that has certainly impeded the Gremlins. Hard to replace a Jerome. You can't replace a Jerome Remeke.
No, you cannot. This guy's hard to replace, too. Ben Anoka. Longtime staple.
Yeah, he went to the Gremlins in 2017. I was trying to count up yesterday. I think Benny's got 7 ISC World Tournament Championships. I believe it's 3 with Jarvis, 1 with Toronto, 3 with the Gremlins.
That's a pile. Drop ball underneath the hands at 87.
He's dialed in now is Marco Diaz. The competition has gone up. His intensity level has gone up.
After the leadoff double from Matthew Waugh, Anoka has just tied the game. He clobbered it. And it's 2-2.
Ben Anoka gets absolutely all of this. We talked about a couple of guys earlier in the game. Lopez, Evans, who just missed it. 303 feet. That's the highest exit velocity I've seen all year. 97. Wow.
As he jumped on it and drove it over the main fence in behind the home run fence that is put up for this event. And it's a 2-2 tie as Anoka has his 3rd home run of the campaign.
Ben Anoka, Peter, mostly his power is gap to gap, and he pulled this, absolutely jumped on that pitch.
And now we'll see how Diaz comes back. You can tell by the body language, and he doesn't give you much in that area. It's one of the reasons he's so successful, is his temperament. But the game is tied.
Well, that got him on the elbow. I think it got a fair bit of the padding that he's got, but still some discomfort there and flexing the fingers on the right arm from Eric Ochoa. And maybe a little bit of a message being sent.
You don't have to watch these teams play against one another for very long to understand it's different, Blair. It just is. I don't want to take away from any other matchup or meeting, and you could speak to it far greater than I ever could with your vast experience at this level. But it's different when these two teams get together.
This is the best rivalry in the game, and it has been going back all the way to 2013, without a doubt. There have been interregnums, but this is the rivalry in this game.
So a strike to begin for Cole Evans, who flew out to right field his first time up. Ben Anoka's two-run homer has tied it in the top of the fourth. Even though I think it says 2-1 on the scoreboard, I'm pretty sure it's 2-2.
It is 2-2, and that scoreboard has been a challenge, let's say. We've never been able to discover actually who is operating the scoreboard. It's not the fine folks to our right. So,
well, in some parks, you don't even have the option.
no, it's
Because there are not
well,
scoreboards.
There are not. That's right. And scoreboards on all three of the diamonds here. They're great to have and certainly make our lives easier when we're running around in between innings trying to track down scores for folks.
Diaz just misses outside. 2-2. Cole Evans, who always seems to dial his game up when these two rivals get together. Hit the ball pretty well his first time today, too. Settle in, folks. We could be here for a while. The closer it gets, the longer it'll take. And Evans with another base hit. Cho on his way to third. The throw goes off his backside. And Evans with his 15th hit of the year.
Second time through the order, and as imperious as Marco Diaz looked through the first 9, the Gremlins getting in some good rips, and Jeff Ellsworth is going to come out to try and settle things down here with 2 runs already in and a pair of runners now in scoring position for Nico Carrillo, who popped up, but he has hit some balls hard here this weekend.
He's a newcomer to the Gremlins this year. Been around for a long time.
Well, 2017 MVP with Hill United. He was a part of their first rebuild, Peter, because he came on and was the 4th outfielder for a number of years, and then when Jeff Ellsworth ultimately stepped down, Nico became a regular in the outfield for the Chiefs, moved on, I want to say just before the pandemic or maybe just after. 2-3 years with the JB organization and then resurfacing here with the Gremlins. And what a great addition he is.
Spent 6 years with the Chiefs, in fact. And here he is with a chance against his former team.
Yes, sorry, I'm just looking at your notes. I'm sorry for stepping in. But 2020, I remember he made the catch for the final out right in front of me in Eldridge that year.
Fouls it away. And there's just one out here. So 2 for Hill United in the bottom of the first, and 2 so far for the Gremlins in the top of the fourth in this championship final. Biondi in the dirt with the base unoccupied, forced to go that way. And a strikeout and a big one for Diaz.
Most importantly there for Luchi Biondi, kept the ball in front of him, Peter. Didn't catch it cleanly, but it didn't ricochet anywhere, and very calmly able to pick it up and throw down to first. A lot of guys are scrambling in that situation. Not so there for Luciano Biondi.
Abiardo Panuelos, another young player with a great future from Mexicali, Mexico. And the Chiefs would love to keep it, obviously, tied at 2 after the Anoka blast that drew the Gremlins even in this inning. And Panuelos had a quality hack, as the kids like to say, at that pitch.
He's not really a home run hitter up there. He is gap to gap, but boy, when it gets down on the lawn, he can run.
There's a lot of young speed in this sport. This will be a tough play, but Diaz, again, you'd never know it, shoveled it just over in time. While he shoveled it to end the inning, Beninoka crushed it to tie the game. To the 4th, these teams incapable of playing a game that isn't entertaining. We got another one going on here in Simcoe. Beninoka has tied it with a blast, 2-run shot, and we are even at 2 in this title game. 4th meeting of the season between the two rivals, and 2nd straight Sunday that they've met for a tournament title.
2-1 edge for the Chiefs right now, but Peter, you wonder if Mr. Momentum has switched sides just a little bit.
2-1 edge actually this year for the Gremlins. They won the Bear Creek Classic.
Correct, sir. I stand corrected.
And then won the round robin game. It was Hill United, though, that won the big game last weekend in extra innings. Are we headed in that direction again? Pipolo Lopez. He struck out. As Besgrove definitely, after, by his standards, difficult first, has found his rhythm.
Well, he's still looking, though, for a 1-2-3 inning. Got a little bit closer in the 3rd, just the walk to Matrone.
Drop ball. The best game I watched Besgrove play and perform in last year, and for him, there are many, might have been the first of 3 meetings at the USA Nationals in Oklahoma City. He was brilliant for 7 innings. I believe he struck out 11, gave up just the 1 hit. Lopez. Malherzuk can make the game look easy, too. That's not exactly how you teach it growing up, but it's effective.
He is so smooth out there. Very underrated player, in my opinion. He's had a tremendous career, 5 times All-World. One of that gang of guys, and I know I've talked about it a lot this weekend, but one of that gang of Argentine players who came up in 2012 and the core of that Argentine national team for so long.
Yeah, they won World Juniors in 2012 and 2014, now the U18 World Cup. Might have been a U19 event back then.
It was
I'm
U19
sure it was.
in both 12 and 14.
I remember, I believe, the second go-round more than the first, because that, I believe, was when the 2 pitchers were Mata and Godoy.
Yeah, that was their emergence. Prior to that, it had been Pablo Migliavaca.
As another youngster from that country had a mighty cut at the Besgrove pitch in Khalil Luna, who had a really good at-bat before flying out to Panuelos in right field, his first time up. Remember watching those games on video from Whitehorse, and inwardly, and maybe even outwardly in my case, thinking this group's going to be really good for a long time. And that's exactly what transpired.
Yeah, they put the resources into that national team program. They centered it at a Parana, brought everybody together.
Just out of the reach.
With the coaching staff, the resources in place to support the team. And it paid off.
And it continues to pay off.
Yeah, they've got a pipeline now of terrific young players. Slipped a little bit, I think, at the last couple of international events. And this kind of thing happens. I mean, New Zealand was dominant for a long time. Teams looked at that program.
Change up and a gem from Besgrove to get Luna with the second out of the inning. Strikeout number 5 for Besgrove.
But teams emulated the way New Zealand put their team together and helped them bond as teammates. And New Zealand got away from that for a few years. Now they're back to that with Thomas McKeah as the head coach, and he's reinstilled that in the Black Sox.
Biondi, a swing and a miss. Now Argentina, it didn't work out well in Prince Albert last year at the World Cup. But again, and I'm not going to go down this road for too long, but somebody there needs to take a serious look at the format. It needs fixing. And I have no trouble saying it out loud.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Canada victimized by that. Argentina in Colombia and fell afoul of that as well. I understand the desire behind the current format, but I can't say I'm a giant fan of it.
Oh, I completely understand why it is the way it is. You don't want any kind of format where things aren't decided by the people on the field within reason. There's always going to be tie-breaking scenarios, but last year, when you take the field for your final round-robin game and you don't even have a chance, to me that says something is somewhat worth looking at least.
Yeah, something's amiss. And I will argue there was nothing wrong with the Page playoff system.
I agree. That to me is the answer. But you know the situation going in, and you have to win the games. Biondi out of play as his at-bat continues in a 2-2 tie in the fourth. Besgrove dialed in a 1-2-3 third, his first of that magnitude in the game. We are through 4 in the championship affair, and it is a 2-2 tie here in Simcoe. 2-2. Fifth inning. The Chiefs Challenge crown on the line on this lovely Sunday afternoon in Simcoe, Ontario. Look at the box score, Blair. That would suggest it's pretty even.
A little bit of a back and forth affair, but we were just saying off air, you wanted to get to Jack Besgrove early. The Chiefs did for 2. It left a couple of guys aboard that inning, and he just had his first 1-2-3 inning here in the fourth. And if he's locked down, then Marco Diaz has got to respond. A bit of a rocky fourth for Diaz and the Chiefs. How did he respond here now in the fifth?
He gave up the 3 hits you just saw on the board in the last inning, including a rocket off the bat of Ben Anoka that tied the game at 2 as Malherzuk struck out versus Diaz earlier in the game. Malherzuk looking for his first hit of the last 2 finals these teams have played in on consecutive Sundays. He was 0 for 3 in Mitchell a week ago. And we'll go down on this occasion.
Yeah, that drop ball off the outside corner, that pitch is unhittable from Marco Diaz. Look where Biondi was set up to, right to the glove.
Nick Mullins is the batter. Diaz has been as high on the radar as 87 in the game. Mostly in that 83, 84 wheelhouse. Really dialed it up at times last inning. It's fascinating to me, Blair, though, especially now with bat technology and the great athletes that play. If it's not in a good spot and doesn't move really well, you're going to get hit.
Well, it's the same with Major League Baseball, right? I mean, there are more guys throwing 100 miles an hour now than there ever has been in the entire history of a 130-year-old sport. But those guys get hit. You can throw 103. You throw it straight down the middle, Major League batters are going to hit it out. Same here.
So true. Yeah, there's also, in this game, and it said a lot about the other game you referred to, it's a difference between a thrower and a pitcher.
100%.
And that comes with time and maturity, too. Well, we wondered how Marco might respond after a tough fourth. Well, it started well for him with back-to-back strikeouts of Malherzuk and Mullins.
Back to the top of the shop, though, for the Gremlins, and now a third look at Diaz for Matua. And he got aboard with the double to get things started for the Gremlins an inning ago.
In his first game of the season against Hill United. Longtime member of Canada's national team as well. And a fixture with the Gremlins for many years.
Since 2012, when Matthew joined the Gremlins, then the New York Gremlins.
Which they were until last year. On the hop and walk and fly, and Gonzalez had an answer. You knew that was going to be bang bang at first when it took the big, high, bounding hop. 2-2 it remains to the bottom of the fifth on the home of Softball Premier TV.
Watch the
Another great weekend of fast-pitch softball at the highest level. And a 2-2 tie between these two great teams. Is the leadoff man, Alan Pecker, to start it. And he's having himself a tournament and an afternoon. He's 2 for 2. He's scored a run, stolen a base.
It's the top of the order, Peter, for both teams that have done the damage. Pecker, Ezekiel have scored the runs for the Chiefs. And then on the Gremlins side, Matthew Waugh and Ben Anoka, the 3-batter.
As Besgrove starts Alan Pecker away with a strike. Allen is one of those guys, and Blair, all you have to do is reflect back to one of the greatest championship Saturdays in the history of the ISC World Tournament to know when this guy gets locked in, forget it.
Oh, he was lights out that particular day, and we will always remember 2024 as the year on Championship Saturday of Alan Pecker. He owned it. 4 2-run home runs.
I am only joking when I say this, but it may be the last time I ever officiate a wedding on Championship Saturday. I had to leave Surrey, and I do it 100 out of 100 times for a good friend, and I miss quite a final day.
I saw it was on Facebook, so of course you can take it for what it's worth, but I saw a post. I've got rush tickets for such and such a day. I bought it, but now I'm getting married that day. If you can go, here's the church, and here's what my bride-to-be would have looked like.
And Alan Pecker, a hack that sends it out of play. He's trying to go 3 for 3 against Besgrove this afternoon. It's getting down to crunch time in this final.
Now, early is now late.
This is a tough play to be made, and it won't be. Puts it in play, and with that great speed, he's 3 for 3 and starts the 5th with an infield single, and Jerome Remeke had no opportunity to get Alan Pecker the way he can fly down the line.
Well, unwisely, he just picked it up and put it in his glove.
You don't want to throw that away.
No, and I've seen that this weekend. Guys trying to make heroic, desperate plays, and it cost them.
Kuba Sichka starting to work. Alan Pecker, first pitch, and it gets away. Same scenario as in the first.
Mullins struggled to get the grip on the ball out of his glove. He bobbled it once in his hand. I don't know if we'll see it here, but I could see it from behind. See, just getting out of it, and then the throw tails on him.
So the stolen base and an error. And no one out for Brad Ezekiel with the go-ahead run 60 feet away.
Well, Jack Besgrove is going to have to dig a little deeper here into his bag of tricks here in the 5th. Ezekiel, Bruce, and Matroni, 2, 3, 4, the heart of the Chiefs' order. Rise ball to Ezekiel.
2 balls and a strike. Maybe just 2 balls.
No, 2 and 1.
2 and
strike
1
on the stolen base.
That's right. So much happened there, you forget what the pitch was. There's strike 2.
That was the low rise from Besgrove. Brought that up from the knees.
Infield in to give any chance. to get Alan Pecker on a ground ball. And Besgrove dials up a large strikeout.
Huge out there for Besgrove, but you still got to contend here with Bruce and Matroni. Bruce with the RBI single back in the first, got the Chiefs on the board.
Right in the bottom of the zone, but somewhat in the middle of the plate. And yes, there are some options here as Jeff Ellsworth goes through the series of signs.
Saw a safety squeeze with these two guys yesterday. Bruce pulled the bunt down the first base side. Pecker saw once it was down. Sorry, it was Nick White on the safety squeeze, but same runner at third.
Well, Quentin handles the bat pretty well. We saw him on 2 or 3 hit-and-run attempts in the semifinal win earlier today against the JDT First Energy. And Nick Mullins is going to come out for a chat in this very important situation. As the batter, you want to put this ball in play and give yourself a chance. You'd love to get one in the air if you could.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking for two things here. If you can get and take advantage of the terrain, right? Like everybody knows the diamond and conditions. If you're not going to hit it high in the air, then if you're Quentin Bruce, you want to beat it into the ground and let Alan Pecker outrun the bounce.
Because 95% he's going on contact, and that is contact, but it's out of play. Nick Mullins wants a different softball. Another gem between these two rivals. What else would you expect?
Got him on the swing, it looks like. Quentin Bruce just asking, was it on the call or on the swing? And that was on the swing.
So after the inning starts poorly, Besgrove ends up with back-to-back strikeouts, up to 8 by my count in the game. And Alan Pecker, who's been there with nobody out, is still at third with 2. And the designated player, Bruno Matroni, with another opportunity to cash in. Even going back to the first player, Hill United had opportunity to maybe make it more than just 2.
Well, they stranded a couple, and they may rue that opportunity. We talked about getting to Besgrove early.
Well, he has found his groove ever since. Runner at third. 2 out and a couple of strikes. And Matroni stays alive.
Stays alive, but got him to chase the rise ball. That pitch up above the letters. A good job by Bruno Matroni to just get a piece of it and foul it back.
Chuckling with Nick Mullins. Yeah, I love the banter. I really do. You could just do a whole game of showing that and nothing else, as long as you had good audio.
I'd love to get guys mic'd up again.
Matroni, high, deep, and gone. The 40-year-old veteran goes yard, and it's 4-2 Hill United.
If you were watching closely, you watched Nick Mullins creep out to the left side batter's box. That pitch was not where Nick Mullins wanted it.
Bruno Matroni. A 2-run home run. And for the second time in the game, Hill United leads by a pair. His 4th home run of the season, and runs batted in 18 and 19. His 2nd home run of the weekend. And this one is big. Not even Cole Evans can come up with that. Gonzalez never hesitated. He's at second with a double.
Give a lot of credit on that to John Hill, too. I mean, a lot of people will say first base coaches, they're just down there to collect equipment. But I can't tell you how many guys, and we've said it, you just said it, never broke stride. It's because they're being directed by John Hill.
Great point. Quality coach. If you don't like John Hill, you don't like humans. So Bruno Matroni goes deep, and Tony Gonzalez followed up with a hot shot that not even Cole Evans could deal with. And when he can't deal with it, forget it. No one can.
Nobody else is getting it if Cole doesn't get it.
And Hill United would love another, as Blake Hunter hoping to add to the advantage. Gonzalez found the right part of the bag to be safe.
Yeah, he slid to the backside of the bag. The throw was at the front and just momentarily gets away from Mullins, not for long. But there you see that Remeke has got to reach around with the tag, and Tony is on the bag.
Jeff Ellsworth is very consistent in terms of how aggressive he wants his group to be. Gets away from Mullins, and he did a great job to keep Gonzalez there. Tony's bit of a laugh with Jeff Ellsworth. That would have been interesting if Tony decided to just give it a go.
Bestgrove was here at the plate to cover, but boy, that ball squirted 12, 13 feet away. Mullins quick as a cat, though, right after it.
So Blake Hunter with a good hitter's count, and he had a pitch to drive and had a quality hack at it. Did he make some plays in the semifinal today or what?
They may not be here without his glove.
Man alive, 2 just web gems in the 7-2 triumph earlier today. This one gets away, and Tony Gonzalez will score.
You can just tell by the expression on the face of Jack Bestgrove that he is going to wear that one personally. That pitch, a wild pitch, and a rare bad pitch from Bestgrove.
And a very important add-on. And the difference for the first time in the game is 3. Hunter looks at strike 3, but not before. Bruno Matroni goes deep. A 2-run shot. Tony Gonzalez, a double, came in on a wild pitch, and it's 5-2 in the championship game of the Chiefs Challenge in Simcoe.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. games. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
A 3-run bottom of the 5th, keyed by Bruno Matroni's 2-run homer as Hill United in front by 3. However, no lead is safe when these two teams participate either.
Well, we saw how quickly the Gremlins were able to strike for 2 to tie the game in the 4th. Remeke, Anoka, Ochoa, Evans, Carrillo. All of those guys could hit the ball out of the park. Malheur-Zook has got pop down in the 8th spot, too. Really only Penuelas and Mullins can hit it out, but that's not his game anymore.
You look at the two lineups, there are very few not capable of changing a game with one swing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the bat technology these days, the balls stay hard for the whole game. We talked about that the prior game. Anybody can hit the ball out. Consistency and, somebody you would look at and say, yes, this guy's a threat every time he's in the box, like this guy here, Remeke.
Tailing away from Jerome Remeke. Started the tournament so well. Did not have a hit in the semifinal win over the Sandlot Merchants. And as Blair has noted on a few occasions, for more than a decade, this guy maybe doesn't receive some of the praise that he deserves in comparison to some others. But the athletes understand. Well, another tremendous battle between these two. And we got a good at-bat going as the count is full. And if you're Marco Diaz, you do not want to give up anything free here.
I was pretty sure that was a foul tip into the glove. We're going to check.
Certainly sounded like it made some noise.
Well, it certainly sounded like it. It certainly looked like it, too. Yeah, got it right. That's why the Blues get together, to get that call right.
So Marco Diaz opens the 6th with a strikeout. Ben Anoka with a absolute blast to tie the game. His last time at home plate. A 2-run shot. There's Diaz, 84, missing outside. And that one much farther outside, and it's a hitter's count for the longtime New Zealand national team member and longtime Gremlin. I'm going to guess, has he ever played for anyone else? Ben Anoka?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, he came to the Gremlins 2017. He was with Toronto 14, 15, 16.
Okay.
With the Jarvis Travelers prior to that. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure.
Was the 2018 tournament not in Kitchener?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I remember them winning the title and being in attendance for the final day there. So it's been a while.
Yeah, no, he went there in 2017 because the Gators won in 16, and he was a key part of that.
Fights it off and just foul. down the right field line. One out. As Marco asked to go through the signs again, which are relayed in on the PitchCom system. Not everyone here uses it.
More and more, it looked to me like Bear Creek Express.
They do, for sure.
They absolutely do.
JDT does.
I think the Gremlins do.
They do, absolutely. They were the first.
Yes. Yeah. Chiefs went to it last year.
In the air, playable for Alan Pecker. He got a late start and had to make a play much more difficult than it might have appeared.
I wonder if Allen got fooled by that inside-out swing by Ben Anoka, and maybe his first step was back instead of forward. I think it was.
Great recovery. And on the shoe tops for out number 2. And now it's Evans. Or make that Ochoa. Evans on deck. Ochoa grounded out and hit by a pitch today. These two teams hooking up in a title game for a second straight weekend. And a change up.
Well, Choa was geared up to go. I think he was going to go after whatever came out of the hand of Marco Diaz there.
A shake off. And that's a bit of a difference between when Matrone will catch and still the developing catcher in Biondi. I don't see a lot of shake-offs.
Not very many with Bruno Matrone behind the dish. But it's rare, too, with Biondi. I mean, you might get one every third inning. Normally, they're pretty much on the same page.
Outside corner. And a ball and 2 strikes to Eric Ochoa. Longtime USA national teamer. Played in the World Cup and the World Games. And I believe the Pan American Championships earlier this year.
I believe he was there, yeah.
Tied him up, but able to fight it off to stay alive.
Yeah, that pitch in on the hands.
Eric hit .364 for the United States. It's funny, Blair, that World Cup last year, it's almost like the top 4 everybody expected, and the bottom 4 flipped.
I don't think anybody that I talked to in my softball social circles had Venezuela in the championship game, never mind winning it. Everybody knew about Pimentel. Yes, he's very good, but
Marco Diaz dials up pretty good there. So a couple of strikeouts and a flyout. And Hill United 3 outs away from winning another Chiefs Challenge. You're watching from Simcoe and the home of Softball Premier TV.
dream catcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
A new pitcher in the sixth, it's Kuba Osichka, the young man from Czechia. Get a peek at his numbers. This is his third appearance against Hill United. Blair, he's yet to give up a run against them.
Yeah, he has been really improved this year. You and I have talked a lot away from the park, and our consensus pick for the most improved player over the offseason. And that changeup, that is devastating. Down to 50 miles an hour. Most guys like Marco Diaz is bringing it down to mid-low 60s. Devin McCullough last night had a 4-handle on his changeup.
That was filthy.com. Pipolo Lopez has had himself a terrific Chiefs challenge. He's homered 3 times, including one in the semifinal win earlier today over JDT.
Yeah, Pipolo has been real consistent in the batter's box and doing what he's here to do, hitting home runs.
Another change up. Panuelos waiting, and he will have room in the category of just missed it.
Well, I think if that's not a changeup, Peter, it probably gets out of here. It was only the fact that it had so little velocity coming in that it didn't go out.
So Lopez that close to hitting a 4th homer here in Simcoe. And now Khalil Luna. He's done a nice job today at shortstop in place of the injured Shane Boland. He's had some good at-bats too, Blair. Hasn't necessarily shown up with a lot of hits, but there's been some good at-bats.
Yeah, he's had, I think, even though you get an out, sometimes that's a quality at-bat. When you see 9-10 pitches, you foul off 4 or 5, and see everything that the pitcher has got in their bag of tricks. And Khalil Luna has done that a couple of times.
His first at-bat in particular in this game. Osichka with a rise ball. 24 years of age. The drop that misses out of the zone. A 3-run bottom of the 5th for Hill United after a Ben Anoka 2-run homer had tied it in the 4th for the Gremlins.
Osichka has completely supplanted Michael Holobratic as the ace of the Czechia team. Not that Holobratic has fallen off the face of the earth, though he's not in North America this year. I understand he's either about to be or is a father now, so congratulations, Michael. But Kuba Osichka just continues to make strides, and it's pitches like that elevating that rise ball.
And it was interesting, too, along those lines. If you take a look back at their 2024 qualifying event, didn't use him all that much, talking about Osichka.
No.
But this year in particular, he has really come into his own. Luciano Biondi got a piece, but not enough. Popped it in the air, but out of play. Big grin as he looks back.
I don't think he's ever really not smiling.
He's
just a pleasant kid.
He's an awesome young man. And there are so many in this game. Sichka. Body language would tell you he wanted that pitch. Well, they want everyone. Let's not kid anybody.
That was a little outside.
Yes, that one was. Comes in on the hands, and Biondi stays off of it. He might, and that's a tough pitch here. I wonder if he goes changeup right here.
Yep, good call. You and Mullins on the same brain wavelength.
Two and two with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. You have got to have quick hands to get that bat through the zone and a pitch in that area in tight.
Yeah, that was way inside from Osichka and Biondi. Not quite self-defense, but yeah, he was quick through.
Even when I continue to watch Luna swing the bat, it's part of what I see there. I think he's just scratching the surface. And there's that changeup. And a dynamite one from Kubo Sichka, who comes on in relief of the starter, Jack Besgrove, and has a scoreless half inning. The Chiefs, with one more of those, in fact, they have a little room to play with, would capture their own tournament, the Chiefs Challenge. They'll try to do just that when we return to Lions Park in Simcoe after this. Seventh inning. Final game of the Chiefs Challenge. It's been a dandy. Bruno Matroni with a go-ahead 2-run home run. Those are the 2 pitchers in the game. Marco Diaz has gone 6 innings. The Ben Anoka 2-run homer is the one pitch he'd like to have back. Outside of that, he has been very, very good, giving up just the 3 hits. As he faces always dangerous Cole Evans.
Peter, you just remarked on it. It was the 4th inning where Diaz wavered. All the offense. Everything else has been 3 up, 3 down.
I didn't realize it was quite to that extent. I knew, needless to say, that that was the 1 inning, and I knew they had all 3 hits in it. Change up, and Evans ahead in the count. Singled his last time up. You want to talk about a guy that was born to play this sport. How about the guy at home plate?
Yeah, he is a special athlete, a one-in-a-generation type of player. Lives in London, England now. And
that's what I heard recently.
Chatting with him last week, and he said the flight over here was certainly a hell of a lot easier coming from London than Auckland.
A little closer.
6 hours versus
not 1,000.
22.
So Evans trying to start a 7th inning rally. 3 balls and a strike to the outstanding shortstop. And the count is full. Is this guy as good a player as there is in the sport today?
Oh, he is right there, without a doubt. I mean, we talked about it earlier. You get the ball by Cole, nobody else in the game is going to get it.
And he draws a leadoff walk. And when you're down by 3, what you're looking for is base runners. There's Nicholas Carril. Steps in. And again, time for Diaz, who shakes off and now set to go to work. That had a little zip on it at 85.
He did not miss that pitch by much.
No, he did not. So the Chiefs in the lead, but does not feel like it's commanding. Never is when these two teams play. A change up, bounds foul.
Yeah, good. Just reached out and poked that foul to Nico Carril. Go across the plate and just hold on it.
Nobody out. Evans the base runner. And a important strikeout for Diaz. And I think he's hit the 10 strikeout mark with that one.
I would concur.
And he's done that a few times already this season. So from a Chiefs standpoint, an important first out as the batter is the right fielder, Abelardo Penuelas.
Lucio Redemar has appeared in the on-deck circle for Ladislav Malherzuk. 2 strikeouts for Ladislav here this afternoon, so a different look should it get that far. Bit of a bluff off first base by Evans.
2 balls and no strikes. And the one thing you do not want to do here, if you're the team in front, is another free pass. On the ground, Luna, smooth.
Well, and well done, too. I mean, there are a couple of shortstops who would try to force and try to get Cole Evans at second base. You're just trying to get outs here in this situation.
Playing in place of the injured, the captain, Shane Boland, and has done a very good job defensively. So Malherzuk will indeed be pinch hit for by Lucio Redemar. Gives his countryman a little fist bump.
Hey, kid, go hit against Marco Diaz with 2 out in the bottom, or the top of the 7th. Try and keep the game alive. No small ask.
Redemar hit it hard and deep and foul. Or did it get out of here? Did I see a
No, that's a
home run?
Yep, that's a home run. I believe.
It is gone. And it is all of a sudden 5-4.
Not too bad when you can first pitch swinging and bang one out opposite field.
The part that confused me is that from my vantage point, Blair, I saw the 250.
That's not the foul
But
pole,
that's
though.
not the foul line.
No.
And generally that marker, because if you go down the other side, it is at the foul pole.
So on the left field side, the fence ends at the foul line. And it definitely cleared the temporary fence.
There's no question it did.
Yeah.
But that was where the
you're right.
confusion came from,
Yeah.
just visually from here. Oh, I know it's the white post. It's just where the signage is.
Yeah, it's different from left and right because on the right field side, the 250 is right on the white line in line with the white post. Here, it's 2 fence panels in on the left side. In any event,
it's 5-4.
It's 5-4, and Zenon Winters,
and
who's been known to hit a ball out of the park
for a long time. This guy's been around for 1 or 2 days. Up the middle, and he's going to keep it alive.
Just incapable of doing anything ordinary are these two teams.
My goodness. Lucio Retamar comes off the bench to hit a 2-run homer that just got over the left field fence. And now, here comes the speedster, Tani Mumu, to run, and Greg Leather wants to have a chat with he and Matthew Waugh.
All of this with 2 out. I just marvel at these two teams. I mean, we would have thought, Peter, that a 5-2 lead coming into the 7th here. Diaz, only 1 bad inning in the game. And here we go into the 7th, and we're back and forth like 2 heavyweight fighters. It's like a Rocky movie.
And Jeff Ellsworth is going to come out. And a lot of this won't be about what Marco's doing. It's the potential. Is there a play on? Does Waugh square to bunt? Will they try to
2 out? I can't imagine he's squaring to bunt here.
No, not squaring.
Oh, dragging it. Yeah.
Not even to drag. To show bunt to potentially allow the runner, because he's a left-handed batter, which makes it tougher for the right-handed throwing catcher.
Yeah.
You're not bunting in any way, shape, or form here. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right. No, I don't think that Greg Leather, the coach of the Gremlins, would risk getting the game ended on a stolen base attempt.
I don't think so either. And if it was anybody outside of the guy that's at first, I wouldn't even bring it up. Matthew Waugh. He's had a lot of big hits in his lifetime. Does he have another one in the bag here? He's on the move. The diving try, and this game is tied. Matthew Waugh to the gap, and it's 5-5.
Can you believe it? Matthew Waugh hammers it to the gap. The Superman dive by Nick White, and a tie game. Tani Mumu flying around the bases.
Thus the reason, and by the way, he was on the move on the pitch. It was not a hit and run, but it turned into that. So with 2 out, the Lucio Retamar pinch hit home run, a pinch hit single up the middle by Zenon Winters, and now Matthew Waugh has tied it, giving Jerome Remeke a chance to put the Gremlins ahead.
And he has struggled today. A couple of strikeouts and a 2-hopper ground out, has not been able to square anything up.
Change up. Ooh, and bounce back by Biondi. That would be quite a way to have one get away on you. How things, it almost felt settled with 2 out. anything but.
No, it's a good thing Marco Diaz fields his position better than anybody.
Matthew Waugh with a rope to the outfield. Three balls and a strike. Now you have a base open here. High and deep and forget about it. Jerome Remeke gets all of it. And it is 7-5 Gremlins.
He has struggled all afternoon with Marco Diaz, 2 strikeouts, and then boom, launches this one.
There was never a question when contact was made on that pitch. 5 runs, all with 2 out. Here in the top of the 7th. And it's 7-5. And Ben Anoka, who earlier in the game tied it at 2 with a 2-run home run of his own, is at home plate. Anoka had a notion, but was able to hold up on the 63-mile-an-hour changeup. Did go around. Attempted to check it. I believe Hill United might be at the top of their order when they come to bat in the bottom of the 7th.
Pecker, Ezekiel Bruce.
An inning that has somewhat sent shockwaves through this park. Gonzalez took an interesting shift to his right, but able to stay with it. A 2-run homer by Lucio Retamar got his team in the thick of it. And in the end, a 2-run homer by Jerome Remeke has given the Gremlins a 7-5 lead. How will Hill United respond in the bottom half of the 7th? You're about to find out.
Dreamcatcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
To the bottom of the 7th, Hill United was 1 out away with a 5-2 lead in the top of the inning from winning the tournament, only to have it all come raining in. Couple of 2-run homers off the bat of Retamar and Remeke. And we have some defensive changes, Blair. for the team now in front by 2.
Tawny Mumu, who came in to run after Zenon Winters had pinch hit for Nick Mullen, stays in the game defensively at second base. Brian Avery will come in to catch what the Gremlins hope is the final 3 outs. Kuba Osichka in his second inning of work, and suddenly Peter in line to potentially win the game.
And Hill United has yet to find an answer this season for the young man from Czechia. He's been, in the meetings of these two teams, their most effective pitcher, which is something you don't think you would ever utter.
No, you would
when
not.
Besgrove is your ace.
You would not have thought that, but again, this speaks to the strides that we've talked about that Kuba Osichka has made over the off season and the work that he's put in.
So Alan Pecker, who's 3 for 3 in the game, will lead things off for Hill United. What a turn of events.
I'm not convinced that's going to be the final score at 7-5. It might be. Not saying it's going to happen, but I could see this changing still.
Well, as we've both remarked, incapable of not playing an entertaining, interesting, twist and turn, emotional. Always seems to have a little of everything when they get together.
It always does. There's always a twist.
And there's a 4th base hit of the game for Alan Pecker. And the tying run comes to the plate in Bradley Ezekiel, who 1 week ago in the top of the 8th inning in a 0-0 game hit a game-winning 3-run homer. And sprays it foul.
Pablo Miguelvaca is up again down the right field line for the Gremlins. I haven't seen anybody work for the Chiefs. Can't imagine at this point.
The drop ball out of the zone. The tying run at home plate. And probably the guy that you would most want there in a situation like this.
Well, if Osich is going to close this out, he's going to run the gauntlet.
And Ezekiel had a good twist on that swing.
Yeah, he'll want that pitch back for sure.
Talking to his longtime Canadian national team teammate and Brian Avery, who's come into the game to catch. On the topic of versatile players and good ones for a long time.
Yeah, he and Blake Hunter almost mirror images of each other.
Count even.
Both can catch, corner infield, corner outfield.
That's pretty good.
It's versatile.
And found an inside corner.
That's a huge out right there because that's a bit of a momentum shift in the favor of Kuba Osichka, a bit of a morale boost internally. You give up that hard hit single to Pecker and you're thinking, oh boy, now I got to face Bradley. But to get Brad Ezekiel, that's a big out.
Quentin Bruce, the batter. And he got him with a great pitch.
Well, and credit to Brian Avery there, too, because they were working away, and then came back in tight with that inside drop.
Quentin Bruce on the changeup. It'll send Alan Pecker to third base. And runners at the corners for Bruno Matroni, who hit a 2-run homer his last time up to give the Chiefs at that point a 4-2 advantage.
This might be the guy here that you want up. These next two guys, Matroni and Gonzalez, have been top of the charts for the Chiefs so far this season.
On the outside corner. Well, you mentioned off the top they wouldn't go quietly, and they have not. And Matroni finds himself in an 0-2 count. They're running out of softballs, Blair.
Not for the first time here on this diamond.
Bruno Matroni. And Osichka with a rise ball, and now it's the Gremlins' turn to be one out away from the Chiefs' challenge crown.
What a terrific pitch there from Kuba Osichka. He reared back and just threw that rise ball right past Bruno Matroni.
So the Chiefs' leader in runs batted in. 20 on the year for Tony Gonzalez. 2 outs. Tough play for Mumu, but he will make it. And a 5-run top of the 7th propels the Bear Creek Gremlins to a 7-5 win in the title game of the Chiefs Challenge.
What a stunning comeback. Did not have that whatsoever, Peter, on my bingo card. And the Chiefs made some noise in the 7th. They'd run at it, but full credit to Kubo Osichka to come in and shut the door.
He has been the pitcher that has given Hill United, even over the last couple of years, some of the most trouble. We will take a break and be back with the end of tournament presentations. You're watching the Chiefs Challenge on Softball Premier TV. What's that? tremendous final. A 5-run top of the 7th propels the Bear Creek Gremlins to a 7-5 win over the host Hill United Chiefs, as Brian Porter, who does just an amazing job in this area, period. Cole Evans winning the first individual award, and some just beautiful carvings for the winners. Justin Schofield awarded with the top pitcher. Schofield with an excellent weekend, including being the winner in the semifinal earlier today over JDT. Matthew Waugh. Tournament MVP, drove in the game-tying run in the 7th as he laced a double to the fence. And had 8 hits by my count in the tournament.
And we also have from the 5 making final squad chiefs. For the league championship and the Chippewa Chiefs as runner-up. We had a representative come out. Congratulations to both.
Now the Toronto Batmen down the Chippewa Chiefs in the B Division title game earlier today.
And the championship, and an incredible comeback. Great job, guys. Very good Gremlins. 2026 challenge champion.
And a look at that just lovely carving, accepted by head coach Greg Leather, as his Gremlins, down to their last out, trailing by 3, found some late inning magic to answer the magic that Hill United found in an extra inning the week before in the tournament championship final in Mitchell. And do not be surprised if they hook up again next Sunday in another tournament final, a 5-team event that will start Friday evening in Kitchener. Well, that'll do it for another edition of the Chiefs Challenge. To both Blair Setford and Joe Todd, thank you kindly for all your work all weekend, as I was away for a couple of days tending my regular job duties before coming back for Championship Sunday. Of course, Luciano and Carol and their lovely daughter Isabella and our great crew at Softball Premier, to the Chiefs and their wonderful organization, all the volunteers, everybody who makes these kind of events run so well. The Bear Creek Gremlins win the Chiefs Challenge. We'll be back with you next Friday night for more Hill United Fastball right here on the home of Softball Premier TV. Good afternoon and have yourself a great rest of the weekend. Bye now.